They said I'm, past the age limit, but he's done such an amazing job with his children. I'm extremely impressed with the work that he does with them as well as in his business. So, Sean, if you would come to the front, and he's just going to share with us basically some tips for turning our business into a six-figure business, because that's the ultimate goal. I feel like when you reach six figures, you're really able to make impact with your business and your message. So you can give Sean a hand, or if you're eating, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Good morning, how's everybody? Outstanding. In Illinois, there was a small city town, and the town had a machine factory, and the machine worked off of cog systems. So one day the machine actually went out, and the manager said, "Hey, look, we need a mechanic to come in and fix this thing immediately because that factory actually operated the whole city." So the technician came in one day, and he had a little satchel, and it had a small ball-peen hammer in it. And he took a look at the machine, examined it, and he tapped the machine. And the machine started working again. So he went to the manager and he said, "Okay, that'll be $1,000. And the manager looked at him and exclaimed, "What do you mean $1,000 for a service call?" He said, "No, it was $1 for the service call, but it was $999 to know where to hit." So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you where to hit when it comes to building successful business systems, creating generational wealth and legacy. As Lily said, I am Sean J. Harris. I'm CEO of Thousandfold Capital and 7 other corporations. And I'm from Atlanta originally, and I get the distinct pleasure to be the husband of Tara, which is over here floating somewhere. And my amazing kids, Kennedy, she's a 9-year-old CEO back there in the back. I also have an 8-year-old CEO, as well. His name is Caden. So what I want to do is I want to share this with you guys. There was everybody know about Stanford University, right? Stanford University did a study, and it said, now I want you to take a look at what you see here. Okay? Now, the most important thing is don't share your answer with your neighbor. Everybody say, don't share with my neighbor.
Don't share with my neighbor.
All right. Now, there was a study done at Stanford University, and it said that these symbols will tend to resonate with everybody. Okay? So, take a look at it for a quick second, and whichever one comes to mind first in your inner core being, that's the one that you're going to pick, okay? All right, now, by show of hands, who resonates with the circle? Okay? Stanford Study says that this group of people are the creative type. They're very creative in their ideas, come up with amazing ideas. Okay? The second one, who came up with the square? Okay? The square signifies intelligence. All the intelligent people are patting each other on the back. Yeah. Now, who picked the triangle? Oh man, that's most of the room. The triangle, according to Stanford University, says that these people's dominant thoughts are about wine and sex. All right. You're up in the hand now, now. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. 2 things about me you're going to learn. I'm not going to waste your time, and you're not going to be bored. Okay? So a little bit about me. I am Sean Harris. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And I actually come from a family of entrepreneurs. My great uncle actually owned one of the first African-American owned hotels here in Atlanta, in the Auburn Avenue district. They also owned the first and only African-American taxi service in Atlanta at that time as well, during the pre-civil rights era. So if you guys heard of the Chitlin Circuit, where all the entertainers came, and they could only stay in African-American hotels, they stayed at our family's properties. Both my parents owned companies growing up. So I've always been around entrepreneurship. Now, I have an older brother and a younger sister. My older brother, I call him my French brother. You'd probably get mad if I told y'all that. The reason why I told you that, I said that, is because he is the corporate professional. Okay? And he's always telling me what's going on in his company. He's like, man, at my company, we did this, we did that, we did that. So like Cheryl said, he's my French brother because he's always speaking French. Oui. And I'm like, look, if you don't own or your name's on the building, you don't have any ownership or equity in that company. My baby sister, she was a lifelong professional student. She went all the way through, she's in a medical doctorate programs, all that kind of good stuff. So a big hats off to her for that. But I was the only wild child, I guess, who said, I'm going to go run my own business. So We have 3 different kids in the same household who had different pursuits. Now, I say that to say, how many people have heard this before? Y'all finish the sentence. Go to school, get good grades, go get a good job. All right, how well is that working out? Yeah, it better not work out that way. Now, that's the paradigm that we all have, but what I want to do is talk about a paradigm shift. How many ladies can tell me what this is? A screwdriver. A screwdriver is basically used just to tighten and tweak some things. So hopefully my message today will be the screwdriver for a lot of people today as far as just kind of tweaking some different ideas and ideologies when it comes to creating income. Well, Sean, what qualifies you to talk about generational wealth? I've done it. I'm a part of it. And I also have 4th generation wealth builders in my 9 and 8-year-old son who both independently have 6-figure valuation companies. So I'm pretty good at what I do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a little bit with you guys real quick. There's 3 types of education. You have what's called a academic or scholastic education. And in an academic or scholastic education, this is the education where we learn how to read, write, and arithmetic. Okay? This is usually designed for us to exchange our time for someone else's money, i.e. a job. Okay? Now, how many people will remember a pinto? Now I'm dating myself. All the millennials like, what is that? Anyway, a pinto was a low budget car. How many ladies familiar with a Ferrari? Pretty high-end car. Well, if we exchange our time for someone else's money, isn't that like trading a pinto for a Ferrari? We're exchanging something of higher value for something of lower value, and that just doesn't pass the common sense test. But here's the deal. This is what we've all learned growing up, okay? But we do better when we know better, right? So the second type of education is called a professional education. A professional education is an education that allows us to hone in on our skill set, like being a doctor, an engineer, an attorney, a particular skill set like that. This tends to put us in a situation where we now make more money, but we usually have to exchange more what? Time. So this puts us on that rat race, or it's just a hamster. Y'all ever notice a hamster? He's moving. He's excited about going nowhere, but he's just running. And I remember, just in my pursuits, I've come across so many people that tell me, I have a degree in this, I have a degree in that. How many people know people who have more degrees than a thermometer and still not happy financially? That makes sense? Again, like Cheryl said, I'm that little C student. I just want to see my way out. I remember I had a high school counselor. She said, Sean, based on your grades, the best you would amount to is probably being a warehouse worker. That's like, wow. And as you guys see, I'm not saying guys, it's not gender specific. As you see, I'm not that tall. I remember going in her counseling office that day. You know how you get the little 4th grade counseling session? And she had this chair that seemed to be this high. It was leather and cold. So I had to kind of get around and start jump on it. And I just remember sliding back down because the chair was so stiff. And she gave me this just demeaning talk. I was like, wow. So needless to say, I went on and my dad gave me this proverbial talk. And I'm sure a lot of you ladies heard something similar. You have 3 choices, son or daughter, when you graduate from high school. You can either go get a job, you can go to college, or you can go to the military. See? It's all the same parents, right? So, here's the thing. I remember I didn't want to go to school. My thought process is, look, if you can't get this thing in 12 years, you know what I mean? And again, remember, I was a C student, what? Trying to find my way out. So that option was like scratch, no college. And then I didn't want to go get a job because I don't like being told what to do. So I went to the United States Air Force, and guess what they still did? But I had a great time. I was back around the aerospace, propulsion, aeronautics, all that high-fluting aircraft stuff. So I'm a bad boy when it comes to avionics and jets. But I remember when I was in the military, I remember my base commander, he's like, you know what, if you're in the military for like 30 years, it's just like you can be a base commander one day. As he walked off and got into this rickety-rackety car. And I was like, I don't think I want to do that option. So I got out and I fulfilled a childhood dream. I always wanted to be a law enforcement official. So I was bad boys, what you gonna do? I just kick in doors for a living. And throw shotguns at people's faces. But after a while, I got kind of old, and here's what I realized. I was allergic to hot lead coming in my direction. I didn't like getting shot at. That was not fun. And the first time I kind of heard a bullet ting over there. The second shooting I had, it kind of got a little closer. The third one, I felt the hair on my ear move. So it was time to come up with an exit strategy. So the third type of education I want to share with you ladies is what's called a financial education. Oliver Fonte? Habla español? Poquito. Konnichiwa. Arigato. That's Japanese. Now, I just spoke 3 different languages. Now, here's the deal. If you are in a land where I spoke these languages and you don't comprehend, you're going to have a hard time coping, right? Well, the same takes place in the land of finances. If we're in the land of finances and we don't speak that language, guess what? We're going to have a hard time coping. So those are the 3 educations that I want to share with you guys. Now, what I want you ladies to do also is, I like to call our reality. We have an actual reality, and then we have a preferred reality. So just think for a moment where you currently are. What you're doing, if nothing changes, what changes with you? And the second thing I want you to think about, if you don't change anything, how much is it costing you to stay there? Something to think about. So here's the deal. We know what our reality is, and we know what our preferred reality is, so now we have to bridge the gap and figure out how we're going to get to the other side. So I'm going to share a couple things with you guys. I got a limited amount of time here. There's 3 money skills that you have to master. Okay? The first money skill is to create money. You know, a lot of people say, well, Sean, I don't have money, I'm broke. It's not usually that. It's just a strategy problem. It's usually not a money problem. Because in the African-American community, we spent $1.7 trillion last year. Notice I said spent, not made. Spent. But here's the deal. There's a thing called an economic bounce. An economic bounce is how long dollars stay in your community. Okay? Y'all ready for this groundbreaking information about share? Take your pens out. This is important. In the African American community, the economic bounce is 4 to 6 hours. Okay? 4 to 6 hours by the time you get money and it goes right back out. Example, Popeye's chicken. Y'all just paid them $23 million in 36 hours. Raise your hand in the room if you have stock in Popeyes or Church's Chicken. Because Church's and Popeyes are the same company. Did you know that? No one has stock. That makes sense? So you want to put yourself in a position where you have equity or revenue sharing in a business. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. So the first type of income is to make money. Now here's the thing. You don't want to just make money, but you want to have a high income skill. Sean, what is a high income skill? A high income skill is a skill set that you possess that can create a 6-figure income without the need of a job. Y'all catch that? So don't run back to my table and I'm going to say, Sean, I got a high income skill. I make a lot of money on my job. That's not what I'm saying. You need to be able to have a high income skill that doesn't need the job. Same thing is, the second money skill is to be able to hold on to money. You got to be able to hold on to it. Like I just said, the economic bounce in our community is 4 to 6 hours. In the Caucasian community, it's 4 to 6 days. In the Arab and Asian community, it's 12 to 14 days. In the Jewish community, it's 19 to 21 days. So every other ethnicity operates and lives their life on 2 different incomes. 100% of their own and 90% of African Americans. Did y'all catch that? So you want to put yourself in a position where you can become a prosumer. A consumer is one who consumes. A producer is one who produces. A prosumer is one who spends money and makes money as they spend money, i.e. the business owner. Okay? The third money skill, and now you don't just save money just to save it. You save to invest, which is the third money skill, which is you want to cultivate and grow your income. You got to figure out how to duplicate. And I heard Cheryl say earlier about when people, we always talk about multiple streams of income. Now that doesn't mean I do hair over here, I fix cars over here, I'm a plumber over here. Usually all your business entities should fall within the same umbrella, okay? But you have one mainstay. Just like an oak tree. An oak tree has one tap root. That root usually goes down about 15 to 20 feet. And then you have other shallower roots that tend to go maybe 2 to 3 feet. But they can hold up a 90-foot oak tree or a pine tree. Those other legs are for stability. But the one for depth is for security. So when building your, what I call a financial trifecta, you want to be able to have a business system where they all complement each other as far as ways of making money. Now, like that taproot, you want to get that one major source of income and drive it deep before we go over to the second stream of income. So you hear a lot of us as entrepreneurs say that we have multiple streams of income. It's not that we just went out and did 10 different things at one time. We got really good at one, then we segued over to another. So when I was in law enforcement, I shifted over into real estate. I owned a home inspection company. That was my second business. My first business was cutting grass at 7. And I was making a killing. I'm 47 now, so 40 years ago, making $7.50 for like 30 minutes. I was balling. You want to be able to segue into other business entities that are related but still complement the first one. The third money skill, what we just talked about, third money skill is cultivate. So those are the 3 money skills that you want to be able to master. One other thing I want to share with you guys here real quick, know your numbers. Know your numbers. As a business person, always know your numbers. If someone comes to you and say, how much is your business revenue? What's your profit loss statement? See, in school, we were always taught that your grades meant everything. That was going to be your future. As an A-B student, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to be this career. But here's what I quickly realized. I think I realized when I was in high school, Lily. I said, you know what? I think your bank statement, your financial statement will really determine where you go in life. That makes sense? Because, and I don't want to step on any toes, but do I have permission to be honest with you guys? Yes. Over my years, I've found that A students teach B students who work for C students. I got a lot of people on payroll. That makes sense? I drive the economy because I produce jobs. But I'm just a C student that's supposed to work at a warehouse. That makes sense? So never get stuck in these paradigms of thinking that you are only designed to do certain things based on what academia is telling you. My son, he's 8. He is starting homeschool this year. And he's 11. But I asked him, I said, Caden, why do you want to homeschool? He said, well, Dad, it just doesn't take 6 hours to learn 4 subjects. I said, Caden and I are like super alike. I already knew what he was going to say or roundabout. And my wife was just like, wow. I was like, we think alike. That makes sense? And it just doesn't take all that to do that. What I do is I help businesses either scale up, I help people start businesses, I help people create second streams of income. Here's the deal. My daughter, she's 9 years old, she was kidnapped from the school system about 2 years ago. And she was taken by a defect worker, state family services and all that kind of stuff. People keep messing up, them folks. They stole my baby. So I went to go pick her up after school one day and she wasn't there. Fast forward a little bit, her name is Kennedy, ending with the letter I. They were looking for Kennedy, ending with the letter Y. Wow. Same last names, different birthdays by 2 years. So my daughter was missing for a few hours. The school system lied to us. It was a Gwinnett County school, and a lot of you ladies probably saw that on the news. And long story short, she went through an ordeal, as you can imagine, the trauma. So as a coping mechanism, we started her a business. She started a safety locking business. It's a little lock, it goes around the neck. It identifies the kids, what school they go to, parent, and all that kind of stuff. And she segued into her own doll collection. And she has a signature line of African American dolls because that is where her comfort was. So to help her cope and be able to trust again, she developed a line of baby dolls that look like her. She said, Dad, I want baby dolls that got nice hair like mine, nice features, not over-exaggerated, buffoonery type dolls that like girls or ladies were used to as little girls. So she did that. And then my son, he saw from a distance, like, wow, she's making a lot of money. And he would always come to me and say, Daddy, did you know? And I was like, yeah, I knew Sky was blue, yeah, I knew this and that. Then he came to me and started elevating his research. Okay. He started elevating his research. So he started a business called Daddy Did You Know? It's a financial literacy business. He has financial flashcards, books. He's a 2-time author. Both kids, Kaden won a business pitch competition where he won $25,000. Wow. And this was 2 weeks after a lady came into his school system and told him that speaking was not a career. Ain't that something? And Kennedy, right back here in the back, she has a book back there, Limited Lemonade. She won $10,000 in business pitch competition. They both won some funny and short. I don't say that to impress you, but to impress and find you. If I can teach 2 children, 8, 9 years old, how to create 6-figure income, I can definitely do it for you later. Everybody take your phone out real quick. I want to share a free gift with you all. If you will text 555-888 and put the keyword GLAM19, GLAM for Glambitious, 19, and follow the sequence from there. You're going to get my free financial literacy course, financial compass course, 555-888, and the keyword is GLAM, GLAM 19, and follow the sequence there. And I have some great books back here in the back I want to promote to you guys. This is my best-selling book here. It's called Money Moves, Wealthy Rules. This book is designed to teach you some of the fundamental foundations of wealth building and creation. This is another one called Unicycles, Bicycles, Tricycles, and Four-Wheelers. This is a powerful book. Anybody here know how to ride a unicycle? Well, the unicycle, you got to pedal back and forth to balance. With a bicycle, you have more stability, i.e. a second stream of income. A tricycle is even more solidified than a bicycle. So that's what that book is going to be about. You also have just in case money. Just in case money is, how many ladies came here in some type of vehicle? Car, airplane, bus, horse, whatever. Here's the deal. In your undercarriage or in the trunk, you had a spare what? Tire. Why? Just in case of a blowout, in case of a flat. How many ladies do you have just in case of income? Just in case the job let you go. Just in case you went through a divorce. Just in case whatever. That makes sense? So, I'm back here at the table. I have, I think I'm a 27-time author. I've only brought 7 books today, I think. I have amazing coaching courses that I offer. We can discuss that back here in the back as well. I give you a screwdriver, hopefully, to at least start to tweak down some of the things that are important to you ladies. And Lily, thank you. You ladies are amazing. I had an opportunity to share with you guys last year. And I've watched a lot of you over this past year, growing up in businesses. So hopefully I've said something today as a great value add that can help you move forward in the trajectory of your successes. And I look forward to seeing you guys back at the table. Again, my name is Sean Harris, and I approve of this message.
When you did the circle, square, triangle thing, I was glad I didn't pick that triangle.